Hello everybody, welcome back to this channel. This is Arete Supply, and if you are new here, I'm in the midst of building this brand and building this business. I'm going to be selling a physical product. My first product is going to be a vegan leather messenger bag. So this channel is all about showing you guys kind of the nitty-gritty details and having you guys follow along and become a part of this community as I make this brand, from a dream to a reality. So thank you for being here, and please subscribe to make sure that you can become a part of that journey. But today's video is not nitty-gritty. Today's video is higher level. I want to take a look at some of my higher level goals and motivations that I have going into this, and why I'm doing this in the first place, and what I hope to achieve with this brand. So today I'm going to go through several goals that I have for this brand, and thank you guys for being here, and I hope that you find this really informative, and I also want you guys here and be aware of this from the beginning so that you can hold me accountable too to these goals and hold my brand accountable in everything that we do going forward. So thank you so much for being here. So my first goal for this brand, and I know that it seems really surface level and really basic, is for it to be a success. So yeah, I want this brand to be a success. I want to sell product, and I want the product that I sell to consumers to make them happy and to be something that is incredibly high quality and is a success in that sense. But this isn't so basic and isn't so surface level in the sense that I want the success of my business primarily to be the impact that I make on not only I don't want to negatively impact the environment or animal well-being or humanity and human well-being in any of my business activities. But I also want to have a positive impact on the corporate world and businesses around me and every other e-commerce brand as a whole. I want to positively impact them and show them what's possible with a business model like the one that I'm going to be building out and executing. So I want to inspire them and challenge them. I want to challenge the industry to take it further and to really take responsibility in a way that hasn't been seen before. For being a company and for being a business and what that should mean. And I also want to be a success in the sense of positively impacting my customer. I want each and every customer to have a new and revitalized conception of what it is to be a part of the buying process and what they should consider when they are looking at buying a product and spending their hard-earned money, and the companies that are available for them to support and the kinds of things that those companies are engaged in can be really cool. So I want to definitely be a success in that sense. I want to have influence. And so that is my conception of success within this business. I want to obviously sell product, but I also want to inspire and motivate and influence with everything I do with my brand. So goal number 2, I know I said this in the scope of goal number 1, but I want to take it further than we've seen a lot of brands take it so far. And what I mean by that is this new sense of corporate responsibility that we've seen, companies taking responsibility for their environmental impact and all of their business activities and the way that they impact their workers and their diversity statements and everything like that. We've seen this new shift. This is a new shift of corporate responsibility that we've seen these companies not just accounting for the profits of their company, but also the impact in a larger sense of their business activities. But I want to take it further. Like I said, I want this brand is going to be entirely vegan. It's not going to negatively impact animals or animal well-being in any sense, and I actually want it to have a positive impact on animals and animal well-being. I want to make sure that my vegan materials that I'm using are not made of plastic in any sense. I've learned through this process and doing the research for my material that a lot of vegan leathers and a lot of vegan leather products that we see on the market are made of petroleum-based products, and in that sense are not biodegradable and are not environmentally friendly in their production in the first place, and have a really negative impact on the environment long-term and short-term. So I am going to make sure that my vegan leather, my first bag is going to be made of cactus leather, which is a completely renewable resource from Mexico, and it itself is biodegradable. So I'm going to be taking it further in that sense. I want my supply chain from, production to shipping out to the customer and everything in between to be carbon neutral. And I am going to allocate whatever resources, whatever profits I need to make that happen and to make this be a carbon neutral endeavor and something that I can really be proud of in that sense, and that the consumer can take pride in choosing to support my brand because of that and the effort and resources that I'm going to put towards making that a reality. And just an extension of that is not using any plastic packaging. Obviously, I want to use completely renewable and biodegradable packaging and shipping out to customers, and like I said before, everything in between. So I'm really not willing to make any compromises on any of those things. Those are things that are steadfast in my mission, and I'm telling you guys those things as my goals right now because, again, I want you guys to hold me accountable and see this brand become a reality and be really jazzed about this when it does become a reality. So those are some high-level goals and how I want to take this idea of corporate responsibility further. So goal number 3 is definitely a little bit more nuanced than my first couple goals. Goal number 3 is to empower and engage each and every consumer when they interact with my brand and when they purchase one of my products. And just taking a step back and giving some context around what I mean by that is really important here. So let's consider the typical buying process and what has been the typical buying process. You go and you pick out a product, whatever, at a big store or something. You walk into Walmart and you get something that you need, and you don't understand, and there's no way for you to know or feel like you are a part of or have any kind of anything at play or at stake in how that product was manufactured, where that product was manufactured, who manufactured that product, and how they're being treated, right? So there's this disconnect, and it's really a terrible tragedy that there's such a disconnect within our modern society between what we consume and the means by which it's produced, and vice versa. The people making our products these days, and if you are making a product for somebody else, you know this to be true, that you have no idea in almost every sense what they're doing with that product. Do they enjoy that product? You don't get any kickbacks. It doesn't matter to you whether that product falls apart in 10 days after they purchase it or if it lasts a lifetime, because you're going to get paid the same hourly wage regardless. If you're lucky, you're working in a country where there's a minimum wage. So first and foremost, I'm going to be manufacturing in the United States. I'm going to be doing that to assure that there's at least that minimum wage standards and fair labor laws in place as I get started here, just to make sure that that's not something that I need to monitor or vet a factory overseas without those laws in place. So manufacturing in the United States, that's also going to make it a lot easier to be carbon neutral in the distribution and shipping of my product. And so that's really important for me in that sense. But going back to this gap, this kind of alienation between the consumer and the producer and vice versa, I want to work really hard to close that gap and to, again, engage and empower my consumers and also the people involved in the production of my product to feel like and to know that they have a bigger role to play than traditional, consumerism has given them in the past. And how I'm going to do that is a couple different ways. I am going to empower the consumer to have a huge role to play in where their money is going. So when you go to checkout on my website, there is going to be, after all of the normal stuff, there's going to be options. I'm going to hand select and hand vet some charities, probably 3 to 4 charities that are effective and are doing immense amounts of good in the world, And the customer is going to be able to choose. You're going to be able to choose which charity you would like a portion of the profits from your purchase to go towards supporting. And that's going to be huge in the sense of making the customer, making my customer, making you guys feel like you are a part of that process, and making it so you are a part of that process, and that you know kind of where some of the profits from your purchase are going. So I want to allocate at minimum 10% of profit to go towards this. And also I want to establish a fund that collects another additional portion of profits to go directly back to the people involved in the manufacture and production of this product. So I want to close the gap on that end as well. And I feel like that's huge. I feel like that is going to be so huge to have these people receive a check for the products that they made, right? For them to feel like what they're doing actually enriches their life. What they have to do for work to pay rent and to make a living actually has an impact. And people see what they're doing. They appreciate the quality of the goods that they're producing. They pay a price for those goods, and a portion of that price, a portion of those profits goes back to them because they worked so hard to make that a reality, and they're the reason that it's a reality, right? I don't have what it takes to sew a high quality vegan leather messenger bag, but somebody out there does, and the manufacturer that I choose does, and all of their employees do, and they deserve to be rewarded for that. They deserve to see a portion of the profits directly, and they will. That's something that I'm not going to be having any compromises about either. So I want to empower and engage both the consumer and the producer and who are involved with my brand. And that is going to be something that really is going to change the game, right? Who does that? Who does that? What for-profit company is involved in doing that? And that goes right back. I'm circling right back to the challenge that I want to be issuing to all other businesses and all other e-commerce businesses, or whoever you may be in their business activities. Are you doing as much good as you could be doing? Are the profits that you're making as much yours as you think they are? So these are some of the questions and the challenges that I want to issue. And I want to, again, I'm just going to go back and say it again. I want to empower my consumer, and I want to empower my producer to be a bigger part of this process than they have been in the past, because I think that that's something that's going to be incredibly enriching for people's lives and the sense of meaning that they get from being a consumer in this world that we live in. So goal number 4, this one is a little bit more out there. I want to normalize what it is to show off a charity flex, as I'm going to be calling it. I am very familiar and very sickened by the trend that we see in social media by individuals who are posting these crazy unnecessary expenditures, buying Birkin bags or Lamborghinis or Ferraris or whatever may have you, these luxury items that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, and getting likes on social media for it, and having that be something that young children and customers or whoever it may be, people of whatever age, look up to that and be influenced by that and think that that's what it is to be happy and to be successful and to get people to like you and to get likes on social media, right? How sickening is that? At least to me. And why that's so sickening, let me just go into that a little bit, is that, you know, that sense of entitlement, back to the sense that corporations have, that each and every penny of profit that they earn is truly theirs, and that nobody else was involved in getting them those profits. That's just flat out wrong and incorrect, right? So I know this is higher level, but just a big scope of things, like whoever influencer it is or whoever it may be that has all this money that's posting these things that are influencing people on social media, they have a car, right? They have food in their fridge. They have roads that they can travel on to go to the grocery store. They have a grocery store that's stocked with groceries. We live in a modern society, is what I'm getting at, where the things that we have, the everyday essentials in life, your phone, your computer, your laptop, whatever, is made by somebody else, right? We're all supported within this society that we live in by people who have been working, you know, people who maybe aren't even alive anymore, they built the roads and the railroads or whatever to make all of this infrastructure possible, to a little bit closer to home, like the food in our fridge, right? Somebody grew that somewhere else in this country or somewhere else in the world, and we're able to enjoy it, and we're able to be humans, and these influencers are able to post their content or whatever because of the help of so many other people, so many other generations, right? We're all here, and we all are standing on the shoulders of giants, and we owe it to everybody around us, to the community around us, to society, to give back, and to not have it be success equals huge amounts of money that you then spend on unnecessary and sickeningly expensive luxury items, right? How many kids could that influencer send to college with the amount of money that they spent on that Ferrari? How many children's lives, how many people's lives could they save if they gave it to an organization that was doing vital work in developing nations, right? What if instead of posting pictures of Lamborghinis or Ferraris or whatever it may be, they posted a video or a picture of their money going, you know, sometimes it's like $50, you guys. Sometimes like $100. That is the difference between somebody's life and somebody's death in a developing nation. What if they started posting that? And what if people started liking that? And what if young people in this country and all around the world started looking up to that instead of buying a Ferrari or a Lamborghini or a Birkin bag? What would the world look like? What would the future generation look like? Right? So with this brand, I want to normalize that. I want to normalize the charity flex. I want my customers, I want everybody who purchases a product from me to be able to share on social media that that's what their money's going towards. Their money's going towards something bigger than them and something bigger than, you know, just trivial things like that. And I want them to be able to be proud of that. I want my brand to be a leading example in this kind of charity flex activity. You know, these bloated profits and this greed that we see within this world today are not going to be a reality within my brand, because I recognize right now at the start that my success or whatever success I have is not dependent upon me. I'm never going to be self-made, because that isn't true. None of that is true. What is it to be self-made in this world that we live in, supported by everybody around us and the community around us? We owe it to everybody to pay it forward and pay it backwards, and who's supported us and who's gotten us here this far. So yeah, that's going to be my brand, you guys. That's what I'm going to be doing. That's why I'm so excited and so enthusiastic and so passionate about this mission that I'm set out to achieve, because it really is, for me, issuing a challenge to the way that we see corporations and businesses acting in this world, and pushing the boundaries of what it is to do good as a company, as a business, as a brand. So that is Arete Supply. And again, I hope that you guys want to subscribe and follow along with me as I make this a reality. And I'm not going to compromise on really any of the skeleton of what I talked about today. And I want you guys right along with me to hold me accountable and to see the amount of good that we can do. So thank you guys so much for being here with me today, and I will see you soon.